Sorry guys, I lost all of you. I don't know what happened. This is the third time this has happened where I'm in the middle of a discussion or something. I'm in the middle of a longer broadcast and the app just quit on me. Sorry about that. I hate when that happens. Why does it happen? I don't get that. Why does it have to happen? Is it burning up too much data or something? I don't know. Right on. It's a conspiracy. It is. It's it's all that copyright talk got me in trouble. Do you know any Brazilian artists? Maybe Rod, Rise, or Ivan. I don't know them. I love them. I love Rod and I love Ivan in particular. He's one of my quote unquote teachers. I reference his work quite a bit. I was saying that this kind of reminds me of Joe Madureira's work, or how I used to enjoy it. So it's kind of cool. I got some. I could tell I reference his work a lot because some of it's sticking to me, if you will. Some of the look. All right, so yeah, I'm probably gonna call it quits soon anyway. But I'm gonna put a little more time into this since I went ahead and started a new session, and that way it's worth the time for you guys to hang out with me if you are still around. I like to get this done. I'm taking too long on it, frankly. But what are you reading lately that catches your eye? What am I reading lately that catches my eye? Um, hmm. I think I mean I haven't really read it in a few issues, but oh, great, thank you. Um, I like Paper Girls a lot. Am I reading Paper Girls? That's pretty great. Um, I also like anything like Mateo Scalera does Black Science. I love Black Science. Um, let's see. And mainstream, the only book I really care about, and this sounds terrible, right? Is Black Science is great. That's an awesome science fiction book. Man, it's good. Um, the only other one I like is that I look forward to is Lois and Clark, the Superman story, and I'm just sad because I'm not sure where it's going to end up at with this new. I have not read Descender. I have not. There's a lot of great stuff. I also bought Deadly Class recently. I bought a few volumes of that. I like the art a lot. I'm not sure if I think I like the story so far. Yeah, Lee Weeks, man. He's one of my favorite artists. You know what's funny about him? When I was putting my collection together, my on my in my bookshelves, as you guys know, I use my bookshelves for my comics, but I don't put them in comic order. I put them in artist order. I was having a hard time figuring out. This is a Pentel brush pen, pocket brush pen. I was having a hard time figuring out how to categorize Lee Weeks, and I think it's because at the time I just try to, you know, you've never seen Lee's work. What? Well, Lois and Clark. He's an old school artist, but he's excellent, excellent. He stands up to everybody today. Just found him today because my teacher told me about him. Oh my gosh, he's fire, 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 tiger uppercut. Anyway, keep going back connection. I'll check the replay. Got hang on a bit. Awesome. Thank you, Estrella. I ordered two of them because of you. Oh, cool. I've been using on such. Okay, cool. Sorry, I guess to be fast. You guys were coming in fast and furious. So anyway, I don't know what's going to happen. What would you like when brush? What paper do you like with the brush pen? I actually like. I don't. I use when I draw. I use Bristol from Strathmore. I use the 300 series. I have several pads of the 400 series, but I actually prefer Well, I don't prefer. I like to use vellum. That's my favorite one. The vellum is my favorite texture because it has a tooth to the paper. Smooth is nice, but it's just too butter. I don't like it. I don't like the way it feels. Sounds exotic. Yeah, it has a tooth. It has a grain to the paper. It's in old days we used to use Bristol board was like a thicker thing, and we used to call it it was either hot press or cold press. Hot press means that they actually press the board, the paper, and it flattens out, like it irons it out basically, and then you get a nice smooth surface, which takes ink tools a lot better. Sorry, but what I like about the vellum surface, which is ironic because vellum is very smooth as well, but they call it vellum. I like that it has this nice. I don't know how else to say it. It has a like. It's more of like the cold press, which so it's not quite ironed out. It has a little bit of texture to it, and then what happens is when you draw on it, some of the imperfections kind of work well with my brush, or if I'm using a pen, my pen will it gets a nice scratch look to it. I showed you guys earlier my Thor print that had the it was like done a different style, my jerkmonger style. Yep, still here, couldn't leave just yet. Nice. And that particular illustration was done on a smaller vellum piece, and man, I just love the way that my microns would just skate across the surface. I say skate because it's not smooth exactly. Like the texture from the brush kills me. I like using my pens on it though. Yeah. I mean the brush works good too. I mean this brush I've used it on there. I love it. I don't have any problems with it. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with that. It's funny because I didn't start out as an inker. I didn't know anything about inking. Feel to it even to the touch. It's nice. Yeah, it is. It has a really cool texture, and then it just looks and feels more like natural art. A lot of guys that I know that use tools like the crow quills, they prefer smooth surface or hot press, and I get that too. I get it, but I prefer the tooth. So that's what I use. And then of course I follow an artist named Steve Mannion, and what kind of have you used the kind of brush pen with color markers? Do they hold up? This ink is not great with markers, but really the better solution to that is not to ink or to color your stuff after you ink it. You should color your stuff before. Have you guys ever done that before? It keeps you from bleeding. So what you do is you do your pencil drawing, throw on your color tones, then ink it, and that black will stay black. If you try to if you're doing it the other way, you can do it, and plenty of people try it, but it actually diminishes the intensity of your black. Hope that helps you guys. Mark Brooks mentioned he likes using the drawing paper. He said colors blend better. What drawing paper? You're talking about Strathmore drawing pads? That's interesting. I didn't know that. I always wondered how people use that stuff, but I don't like. I'm not sure if it's archival either. So that's what I like about Bristol. Coloring first is so difficult for me. I can see that, and it's definitely a different method, different discipline. But it's you just got to think about it. Okay, I'm going to put color on this later. It's almost like when you've ever watercolored before. Watercolor, you have to start light to dark. You don't start with dark. So it's kind of like that. You're putting in your colors first. Watercolor is beautiful stuff. I love working in it. And then you go back in and you add your heavier, darker colors. So it's in that way you're kind of doing the same thing. And that's how I feel about markers. I think if you're doing it the right way, I'm not saying that there's only one way, but if you're going to do it the way that I'll call it this, the most efficient way to me is to to have the. I'm sorry, I'm just checking because I keep getting a blur here. Color first, then add dark. Best practice. Yes. Yes. Oh yeah, he's great too. Saad Ribic is great. So yeah, I guess that's what I'm trying to say. You guys said it best, better than me. Yeah, he's pretty good. He's a little on the stiff side, you know. I mean, I think he's amazing. I tried to use him for a while as an inspiration, but he's a little on the stiff side where I can't even pay attention to. Like he just doesn't have a lot of flexibility to his figures. Artist friends like you in my area, move out to Hawaii. You know what? I would love to move to Hawaii. That's one of the places I want to go before I kick the bucket. I don't know why that's such a big deal either for me, because I don't like tropical climate. But man, I've always been fascinated with Hawaii. I wanna do the whole volcano thing. I wanna see all that stuff. I like that. I like, you know what it is about Hawaii? It's the Polynesian culture is Polynesian culture is just really cool. You know, I really dig it, and I like how so many of the cultures around the world are really so similar. Yet, you know, we spend so much time identifying the differences. Yet we have so much in common. Food is on point on the islands too. Oof, I bet it is. I bet it is. How does Todd not color? He uses he draws it first too, right? I think he does. I think he inks it first, then colors in later. I mean, you can do it. I do use a brand now. You should check out. It's called Shinhan Art. Puerto Rico's better in my opinion, but Hawaii was a fun place to live for me for a little while. Really? Huh. I love Puerto Rico also, but it's way too hot there. Something about the Caribbean I'm just tired of. Florida is like that here. I love Tampa, but especially in the summer, it gets disgusting. I don't even want to go outside. Done with it. California is where I fell in love. Like that's the climate I love. But you can't have it all everywhere, you know. Really? When is that going to happen? When are you moving? No kidding. What part of what kind of part of Florida you thinking about going to? Next month to, I bet you it's Orlando or Miami. Oh, I bet it is. We are, but it's even hotter now. I bet it is too. Why is it expensive? Haha, which is why people eat at Costco like crazy. I bet. Not those areas. It doesn't really cost. Hit me up, man. Whenever you come, I'm in Fort Lauderdale. It's not bad now. Oh, right now, it is nice right now. But we're not in the summertime yet either, brother. You know that's true. When it starts getting to like 90 degrees and it's super humid, ugh, ugh. Oh man, I tell you what. But I like it though. I don't know who the Knicks family is. Should I? Am I supposed to know that? One of the things I love about Florida though is that, especially when spring hits, there's like that weird. Oh man, it's a beautiful time in Florida. The foliage here is just incredible too. It's a the fauna is really interesting, and I think that's one of my favorite things about here is the spring. Compared to back in the day. Well then maybe it's the whole green whatever. That could be it. Could be it. Maybe that's what's going on. Global warming. I don't know. Whatever. What's your biggest concern in the current comic book industry? That's an interesting question. Wow, you guys are pegging me tonight, which is good. Movies. One word. The influence of movies. I see. I don't know that that's a problem for me. I love the movies, and I'm not bothered by that. What I am bothered by might be, can I draw you? Sure, you got to pay me some money though. It might be Rise, you're about jealous because you don't have aliens in our neighbor. I think I would say it has to do more with the way that we are treating. I don't know. I don't even know why I want to talk about this, but anyway, I don't feel great about the way that we're handling, and I don't have a better way to do it. I'm not crazy about the way we handle women in comics, or minorities, or Latinos, in particular. Actually, I think that, I come from a very old school way of thinking. I'm not that concerned. I wasn't really bothered by a lot of things that I'm sure a lot of people are bothered by today. However, um, um, I don't know who Miss America is right now. Sorry, I didn't pay attention. Um, I don't know. I feel like when, okay, in the old days, whenever someone would write a black character, it usually was not a black person, so they put a lot of emphasis on what they thought was uh, vernacular that was um, important to that character, or whatever, and it never really came across very well done. I wouldn't say it was racist. I just think they didn't know. They didn't know. Um, they were just trying to write comic books. And I think today we have something similar. I feel like as a Latino, Puerto Rican Latino man, I don't like I'm not really a big fan of Miles Morales, for example. I appreciate him, but I don't know that he really. I don't know if I can relate to that character, and it just feels kind of contrived, and a lot of this has to do with it's just not an original take. You know, instead of trying to get rid of Peter Parker, for example, I'd rather we give him better writers, because I think he could do that. But I understand it's better. It's easier said than done. And when you've done everything under the sun, you're bound to repeat something. So I don't know. I guess what I'm trying to say is, um, and then when you have characters who are female, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like and I know that Thor's coming back. I don't know when, but I know he's coming back, and I know he's coming back because Chris Hemsworth makes those movies. Who's Blue Marvel? I don't know who that is. I'll have to look him up, or her. And I just feel like it's kind of it's gonna go back to the way it was. Just like Steve Rogers is coming back. So if you were all hyped up and say, yeah, finally a black man is Captain America, well, guess what? Wah. Now he's kind of not Captain America. And as long as Steve Rogers exists, yeah, I can start to. Oh, dang, take care. All right, be cool, girl. As long as Steve exists, there's gonna always be um, a disconnect there, in my opinion. So either you kill that character off, which I'm sure nobody wants, right? But I do. The day's over. Going to bed. I'll talk to you tomorrow. All right, brother. I'll call you. I'll call you after lunch in my book. Um, I don't know. I guess. I hope so. I just feel like it's a waste of my excitement. Same thing with Thor. The Thor's gonna, Thor's. I heard Thor's coming back. Okay, well, yeah, I knew that was gonna happen because another Avengers movie is gonna come out. So maybe that's where the influence I'm more interested in. Um, okay. It may not be 616 Cap, but is it Steve Rogers? And so it's the same difference. So now the black guy took the costume from the white guy, and a whole other alternate universe version is coming back. They can't even give that guy the costume long enough before they're gonna bring in an alternate universe version, and that's okay because it's not my character and I don't care. But I'm just saying, right on, man. I'm just saying that I feel like we need. I would have been better. I would have rather read. I would have rather read Falcon, Agent of Shield. That would have been more interesting. Because I think he's a good character. You didn't need to dress him up in Cap to make him cool. But I don't know. I don't know what their motivations were with that. So I hate to speak on it too much, but um, my color brush is very well. So I'm just saying that I think that's a good thing, right? I'm just saying that at the end of the day, I would have rather there been like an original take on that character. Give him a real voice. You know, if you're, I guess you can, write. You know, I mean, they're not going to get rid of Captain America. They're going to keep pushing that book. It sells, you know, and even if they altered it for a while, it's still going to come back, whatever. But I just feel like, man, I would love to just see Sam Wilson treated with respect, I guess, is what I'm saying. And I'm not saying that they're disrespecting him necessarily. I just feel like he's not getting what he deserves in terms of like a spotlight as a character, as a personality. He's super underrated. Who's that? Who's that? You talking about Falcon? Oh, who is Blue Marvel? Explain it to me. Tell me all about him. I've heard the name. I just don't know where it belongs. Black superhero. Okay. Tell me about him. But see, it can't be enough. It's not enough that he's black. He has to be a fully formed character. You know, and that's what I want. I want fully formed characters. Sometimes the different takes works. He's also not heroes for hire, but there seems to have a comfort zone, maybe fresh ideas, being pissed. Maybe. I hesitate to put too much on editors and stuff like, because I don't know. You know, it's like the whole. I'm not an editor, so I don't know how difficult that job is, right? But I'm sure that they have a headache every day, and we just heard the numbers were up or down, and what's going on here? And you need to make better comics. And I'm doing the best I can with what I got, man. And I'm sure that's what happens. So I don't want to bust that guy's chops, or gal. Speaking of diversity, it's cool that DC Aquaman is an Islander. That makes sense to me, I guess. But see, I feel that's contrived. I feel like, first of all, Aquaman has never been that cool, ever. And I love Aquaman. I had this toy when I was a kid. I had a Mego Aquaman, and my cousin had the Mego Aquaman with the shark, and I loved it. But it's not who that character is. And so I guess that's okay, but that guy's acting more like Submariner, and I got a funny feeling that's what happens when you create a universe that's more designed to a cinematic universe that's just more about action, I guess. So yeah, I don't consider that necessarily diversity as it is. I guess it is. I shouldn't say it isn't, but I don't know. I just don't feel comfortable with that guy. Just search, he's a black superhero, older guy. No, you can't beat Superman. I don't know what you guys are talking about, but I'm sure. Oh, Goku. Goku can totally beat Superman. What are you talking about? He could Kamehameha that guy into the next dimension. I'm trying to change it. Why does everyone need Superman to be the most powerful being in the cosmos? He's not that. He's just an alien guy. He's super strong. Magical. I could see that happen. I don't know. I Superman is not as powerful, and I love Superman. Okay, I can show you my collection, but he's just a guy. He's just a guy from Krypton, man. He's not an Eternal or not an Eternal, a Celestial or anything like that. Isn't op at all? What does that mean, op? Hey, what do you guys think about that reflection? I'm a little concerned. It looks like it's too close to everything else. I'm trying to do a little something different here. The century into orbit, so what? That's cool, but Batman, oh my goodness, strongest. Batman is the greatest. He's got more powers than all of them. That's another debate we'll have. He's got. Let's discuss Batman for a minute. Let me tell you why he's so awesome. He's 10 steps ahead. His superpower is that he's better than everybody. His superpower is that he can beat everybody. He's learned every martial art known to man, apparently, all by the age of 20. There are guys in this world who spend their whole life practicing one discipline of martial arts, just one, whatever it is, and yet that guy, he went, his parents died, took his money. If it was the Matrix, I could see that, but that's not what this story is about. I don't know. I'm just saying, but I love Batman. Batman is is keen to me. His mortality is his greatest strength. Is he though? Is he even mortal? Is he even mortal, dude? When was the last time Batman died and stayed dead? Not very mortal to me, man. I'm just saying. I love him. I love him. Just saying. He don't die, man. He died, and then they said, oh no, he was just like... Well, did you guys even read that whole thing? Final Night, or whatever, Final Crisis? Holy mackerel, I didn't know what the hell was going on in that book. I love Grant Morrison, but I don't know how to read him sometimes. Am I supposed to get a college degree before I read this book? I don't understand him. Did I miss something? Did I... Batman is human and proves he doesn't need powers. I just argued he has all the powers. You say that he's got some powers just moving around, dude. He's I'm telling you. I'm saying from a I know that technically he doesn't have powers, but he's apparently smarter than everybody on the planet. He's a genius. Okay, who said he was a genius? Lex Luthor is a genius. Lex Luthor's a genius. Lex Luthor should beat that guy out every time. There's no way he can be a ninja and a samurai and Jeet Kune Do and everything all at one time. No way. No way. But that's what's cool about Batman. Batman is he's not supposed to be real, and this is where I'm beefing, guys. He's a regular guy. He's or rather, he's not a regular guy. He's not even human. He's just a guy who dresses up in the pajamas and fights. Did you guys see my picture earlier, Batmonger? Super soldier. Yeah. He doesn't age. He never ages. And then when they do it, it's like, gosh, how old is he really? Not only is he old in Kingdom Come, but he still managed to put on a... How does he even put on the suit? He can't even do that. Yeah, listen, man, I guess if you want to hold on to that, that's good. But that's not how they write him. He's clearly outperforming everybody all the time with not one level of specialness to him other than his money. How did he build that underground hideout? And how did he get that giant dinosaur? How did he sneak that giant dinosaur into the Batcave? How did he do that? His superpower. How did he get the giant penny in there? Superpower. He willed it. So he's a detective. He's not. That's my point. That's why I don't like the movie so much, because I really don't like those movies. Actually, he wasn't really Batman. Lucius was more Batman. He's Batman because comics. That's why. Yeah, I get it. I won't argue with you guys. I'm just saying. Well, I am arguing, I guess, but... Oh, man, that's funny. All right. What do you guys think so far? Wolverine's getting nice. Right? He's an idiot in the Nolan films. Yeah, he was. Man, wasn't he? Even when they try to make him look smart, he was using a computer to do it. Remember, he was using that machine to figure out the what was it, that the shell casings. He was trying to figure that out in the second movie. No, the girl is Jean Grey from Age of Apocalypse. Yeah, I did not like those Nolan movies. That's why I'm a little concerned about this new film, but I like what I've seen so far with Batman, his parts. Yeah, that's all he did. He got Prince. And then I tell you what else is a superpower. He's also able to appear at a cafe when exactly when Alfred is going to be there, so he can fulfill Alfred's dream of seeing him in a cafe and him looking at him only looking, and then telling him that we're good, and I don't have to say another word because and that's my dream for you, Bruce. Like, oh, whatever. Bruce, Bruce. Okay, shut up. Shut up. And then yeah, then there's hello, Mr. Wayne, Mrs. Doubtfire. Hello. I like Michael Caine, man. Don't get me wrong. I'm just playing. I'm just saying. But I'm not playing. I'm like, oh, you know what's funny, man? That last movie, I laughed. Oh my gosh! And people were so mad at me. The third one was not good. It was interesting as hell, but it wasn't good. The second one was a better movie, also not a Batman movie. And Joker was not a clown, and that bothered me. You know, he didn't. He was definitely creepy, but I don't know. I like Joker. He didn't have the flair I think Joker has to have. Okay, another one of Batman's powers. How did he get out of that prison? And how did he get? Listen, he had like bushcraft surgery. Okay, the guy just kicked him in the back. If that had happened to me, I'd have been. Oh my gosh, that would have made it worse. But his will is what. Yeah, okay, that's what did it. Because he willed himself out of prison, and he willed his back into place. Yikes. Superhuman healing. That's what I'm trying to say. He's super powered. Just nobody wants to admit it. He's got he manages to sneak Batmobiles. How does he get those done? They try to tell us that he's the guy that makes that Batman mask did not see the news. Seriously? I don't know. Just saying. Man of Steel. Was not a fan of that movie. I don't like 2 and 3, but it was very good. Batman, the Lego movie Batman was awesome. He's stuck in the middle of this ocean. There are stories of people being stuck in the middle of the ocean. Well, you know what? Okay, I'm going to say right now, do not include My Kids Love It as an argument for, because my kids love a lot of stuff that it's just garbage. But hey, they're supposed to love everything because that's their kids. Like when I was growing up, one of my favorite movies was Superman 2, which is still a pretty good movie, and Flash Gordon. What a heap that is. But you know what? I love that thing to pieces, but it is not a good movie. It just happens to be the one I like. So I'm striking that from our conversation, my friend. Kevin was out of place in the Rises. What's not a good movie? I'm saying Flash Gordon, man. That was a terrible movie. But you know what? I went back and I own it on DVD, on Blu-ray rather. Superhero. I don't like Deadpool. I didn't see it, Deadpool. I'm just kind of watching you guys talk about it. I didn't see it, but I don't know. I never found that character very interesting. The most interesting thing he ever did was when he tried to kill Moby Dick. That was really cool. That was a nice way to use the fourth wall concept. I just don't think he's funny. I don't like him. Oh, okay. Let's talk about that Queen song. If you listen to that whole thing, man, that is an epic song. I love that music. If you listen to the lyrics carefully, it tells this awesome story. It gives you a really cool way of understanding Flash Gordon, and then how they were trying to portray him in that movie, which is really excellent. But it was definitely it wasn't high art by any stretch. Let's put it that way. but I still enjoy it. Watch Deadpool on Facebook? What are you talking about? Is he on Facebook? Go ahead, ask the interesting question. And it better be interesting because you said it's interesting. Oh yeah, they were great. I love that stuff. All the old stuff like that. Like, do you think all artists should charge the work they they work in dollar? What do you think about that? Shading techniques. I want you to restate that question for me, my friend, because I'm not really sure what you mean by that. Shading techniques. Other inkers. Um, Other inkers. I learned from John Buscema. I'm a big fan of Alan Davis. I got a lot of insight from looking at his work and studying his work. I'm going to try to answer what I think you were asking. I think you were asking, should we charge in American dollar? Oh yeah, Al Williamson was excellent. And by the way, yes, because I use American dollars here. I think I'm running out of ink. Hold on. My brush is, whenever it starts to do this weird, like, I don't know, it's got the, I can't tell. Here in Brazil, many artists charge the American dollar. I, you know, I don't know what to tell you. Like I said earlier, just a little while ago, I don't have a problem with the American dollar because that's what I spend. But that's what I earn here in the States. I don't know that that's. I don't know what the dilemma or the controversy is. Is there a controversy about the American dollar in Brazil? Is it more valuable in Brazil? Oh, very good. We'll talk some more. Maybe that's what it is. The Brazilian coin is the real. Just so you know, the Brazilian coin is the real dollar. Good. Ah, okay. I don't know how to answer that question unless there's some kind of reason. Did you get to art school? So was it worth it? If not, what would you recommend? I went to a college thing. It was a technical school. I got my associates in commercial art, is what we used to call it back then, also known as um, graphic design. And was it worth it? Yeah, it helped me get my job, but it didn't teach me what I needed to learn, what I was hoping to learn. But it did give me some foundation, though. I won't take that away from it. It gave me some, like how I paint now, came from what I learned in school. I don't know. I would say it was limited, though, because they can only teach you so much in the course that I took. It was very quick lessons and things, and sometimes the teachers didn't know enough about the curriculum, that kind of thing. All right, guys, numbers have dwindled. Oh, just shut up again. I was gonna say maybe we should call it a night. I'm pretty happy with Wolverine. I'm not gonna lie. I went to Art Institute and it was a waste. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry about that. I've heard that. There's a lot that you can learn on your own anymore, and on the other hand, there's some of it is good night, brother. Good night. Some of it is the networking, is something you will never lose. Sometimes it's well worth it. How many of the guys you went to school with or gals came out of there doing amazing stuff, and that person or whatever. Maybe they get you a job or something like that. I want to go to Adam Kuber's school. I used to want to do that too. I was going to take some correspondence courses. I have a couple issues I got to work out. I'm still I don't know if it's worth it, but I mean, I don't know, man. I guess that's a tough question. And your field degree is looked at more than how good you are. I would argue no. I would argue no. As an art director, I don't always look at your degree. That said, when you're running out of options and you're not sure which guy to pick, and let's say the two people are strong in the pool of people you're reviewing, sometimes that's how you determine it. And a lot of people might lose that opportunity because they didn't have a degree. But if you're, excuse my French, but if you're kick ass, you're kick ass, and you just, it's hard to deny that, and that's just the way it goes. So, okay, I'm gonna stop here because I am getting a little tired. I don't think it's sad. I mean, look, you're there's no, you might think you're awesome, but maybe maybe you're not as awesome as you think, and the prospective employer is seeing two people that have very similar qualities. And I mean, I've been there. I've looked at people that way when we had to interview for certain positions. Um, well, yes, that's a big way to do it. The point that I'm making though is that what if you're awesome and you're better, clearly better. You need to be, that is not settle for it, but you have to say, okay, I'm going to have to up my game a little bit here. So it can be. Now, if what else sucks, when someone knows the person, like the person is interviewing, they just bring in a friend and they want to be fair, but they've already announced that. I've been there too. I've heard that go on, and then that's not fair, but good old boy networks exist. So what are you gonna do? The only thing you can do is take advantage of what it is, and like was so great that work on your imperfections. Don't accept what you do as perfect. Just use that to continue to build out more more, how I say this, better work and better solutions, and make sure you're prepared to come up with those better solutions and such. So I don't know. I'm not sure that helps, but All right, guys. I am tired too. I'm gonna call it a night. This will be part 3, since I had that cut off earlier, and I think so far so good. I'm pretty happy with what this is looking like. Um, Good night. Good night, Rice. I think it looks pretty good. You guys have a great night. I'll probably see you guys tomorrow. And there you go. Let me just. So, thanks for hanging out. I appreciate it. As you can see, my eyes are droopy because I'm sleepy. So, y'all be good. And if you have any questions, please be sure to follow me on Instagram. Also, I'm really trying to bring some people over to Twitter, because I'm going to start doing some contests there. So I would recommend that you follow me on Twitter, because some other opportunities are going to come up for you guys to win some prizes there, like that, like the last sketch of Deadpool or whatever. And I'm just saying that because I'm not going to always run it on Instagram. And keep your ears open and your eyes peeled for my commission list coming up soon. And that's it. God bless you guys. Be safe. And for those of you who are in the daytime mode, have a great day. For those of you who need to get some sleep, get some sleep. And don't drive sleepy.